Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lotus Chat Worldwide. And this week we have Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. And I'm Zian, and we're back here every week to empower women collectively. And this week we have a very interesting topic in our episode 31 on the true noise behind quiet quitting. So I'm sure some of you have heard about this term that's kind of circulating behind, and we thought this week we could kind of give our little perspective on it. Yeah. So Jen, what do you think about quiet quitting?
As Zian mentioned, it's a topic that's been floating around. I'm sure if in whatever work environment that you might be in, or even online, if you're looking at articles, you've been noticing a lot of major papers, the New York Times and other radio stations that have picked up, like, what is the quiet quitting? What is this new thing that employees are feeling? And what does it mean for, let's say, a boss or a company that is starting to notice some of these things that are happening? Now, quiet quitting itself, defining it, like, I've heard people say what it means to them based on whether they are an employee versus somebody managing a team. But overall, I honestly don't think it's necessarily about people quitting their jobs, but more so about people reevaluating their mindset towards the whole work-life balance topic, which is also a very big topic that's been going around a lot since we've noticed an influx of a lot of things happening economically the last couple of years, especially. We've noticed, employers having to downsize, losing their businesses, and as a result, what does it do? It affects the existing employees. It affects the overall, chain of things that go into making a job or a business or even a project work. So I think that thought does come into the mind when you start questioning, does it have to be my entire life? Like, does work have to be my sole focus? If work is my sole focus, then why do I feel like there are certain things at work that are making me feel tired, are making me feel unappreciated, are making me feel certain feelings like that? Then you really start thinking, like, is work really everything? And I think that's where quiet quitting comes in, because then people are like, well, if I'm feeling this way about my job, do I really have to go above and beyond to do things that I'm being asked to do? Or do I have to do X, Y, Z and sacrifice another part of my life in order to do this for work? I mean, it really comes down to, again, like I said, evaluating where you stand on the whole work-life balance topic and those feelings. Zian, what do you think?
I agree with you in terms of the work-life balance, and I think with the pandemic, I think the work culture has changed, and that's why work-life balance is being seen as a priority right now. So people are looking at it in more of a primary need, and you're right. And I think some people are going through life transitions, and when they go through life transitions, whether they're about to build a family or they have certain family priorities that come up, then they have to kind of reprioritize their work. And that's when I think quiet quitting comes in. But I think the term itself has a negative connotation to it. And it also implies like a comparison of a before and after, like as though someone's passion has diminished, or as though someone is giving less of themselves. But I think also following into our next question, what is really the true noise behind quiet quitting? I think at the core of it is really a lack of, like what we discussed just now, an outlet to express what that person truly feels. Maybe because, I don't know if it's remote work arrangements or it's lack of social activities. Hence, there's no platform to communicate how work-life balance has kind of shifted after pandemic. Yeah. What's your take on that?
No, I think what you just said, it's true. the environment that we all sometimes would normally work in. Let's say, you know, if you worked in an office where you were in close proximity to people, where you could, you know, get together with colleagues and go have lunch and things, or you know, your boss's office was like across the hall. You
Yes.
know, you could easily, like, you felt like there was that connection physically. Now with things changing and remote work being something that a lot of people are doing, a lot of companies are pivoting to trying that whole, like, they template out of remote work completely. And then there are those that are returning back to work, that are physically at the office, but they of course had to get used to the whole working off, you know,
Yes.
off, out of office, basically out of
Yes.
office.
Yeah.
So I think when you come back after, you know, to the office physically, I think there's a lot of things that you definitely want to make sure is still working for you.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, Zian, if certain things have changed in your life personally, maybe you had a kid, maybe you are needing to stay home more often to take care of your children. Maybe,
Yes.
you know, you took on you have more than one job now.
Yeah.
And so you need to kind of pivot, and you need a job that's going to be able to allow you to do, you know, to work certain hours and then work certain hours. There's a lot of things. And I think that honestly, as somebody in the workforce, it comes down to questioning how much time do you want to put into X, Y, and Z, as you said, prioritizing.
Yeah.
If you do work in a very like busy type of job, let's say advertising, or let's say you work long hours, if you're like, you know, maybe a lawyer, a doctor, you know, the individuals who are like on call, you know, I think if I'm sure you think about like, how much time do I have for personal things in my life? How much time do I have on the weekends to devote to hobbies, to exercise, to do X, Y, Z? All in all, I think it really comes down to you reviewing the way that you live your life.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every job is going to be flexible, because of course, when you do sign that contract, they tell you you're going to have this to do. It's going to require these many hours. We may ask you to work past a certain time, you know, and I personally have been in those type of jobs. I've been ones where you do work like long hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've been up at 12, 1 o'clock at night trying to get things, you know, done. I have run coffee errands. I've, you know, got lunch orders and ran to lunches, you know. I've done every type of job at this point. So I understand when people are saying like, I feel fatigued, or I feel unappreciated, or I feel like I need this type of work-life balance right now.
So those are like, you know, exceptional circumstance, but then when you do it regularly, then it becomes like an expectation that you could do that before and you could also do it right now. But then when you're feeling underappreciated, that's when you don't want to do this anymore, right? And hence, I think having a very casual, open discussion. So to women who's listening right now, and you are probably feeling or can relate to that feeling of quiet quitting, we just want to encourage you to really just have a very casual, open discussion with your manager and just voice out your perspective. And sometimes when you kind of have this discussion, when it's at the beginning stage or beginning phase of it, it doesn't manifest into something that's really big. You know, sometimes it's just really a platform or an outlet to be heard and to voice out what you really want to say. All right.
Yes, agreed, 100%. To all women, and even to any viewer or listener watching this episode right now, we do encourage you to have an open communication with your colleagues if you are part of a team, or if you are under a boss, a manager, and you feel a certain way about your work environment, and wanting to have that really healthy balance between work and home. That is something you can definitely voice, I think. And the other thing too is always, you know, they say, at least for me, I like being somebody who works really hard and who likes helping other people you know, but you have to also fill your cup too. And I've heard that a lot of times, and I've even heard it in my work environment now, where they've been saying, fill your cup, get away from the computer for a couple of minutes, take a walk for 5 minutes, take your dog out for a little bit, and then come back and do the work. Because even this whole virtual work environment thing can also make you feel sometimes like, I just need to take a break.
Yes,
So definitely, even if you are somebody who works from home, find those outlets, as Zian said. If you feel like you're not ready to talk to anybody about what's going on, take a breather, take time for yourself. Yeah.
And also, I also want to encourage women who's listening to this, but you're probably managing a team. I think the leader in this case plays a very important role, because not every employee has the courage or want to have that discussion, or maybe even feel safe to have that discussion. So I think the role of the leader is to provide that comfortable space by just asking, this topic has been going around, and what are your thoughts about it, and kind of have that open, casual discussion about it. Yeah. So any final words or thoughts from you, Jen?
No, I think, Zian, you did a wonderful job in terms of just as reminders, even for our great leaders out there. And I want to first and foremost thank everybody out there who's been working hard the last couple of years and even beyond, and to all of those leaders who are keeping on despite everything. We appreciate you here at Lotus Chat Worldwide. I mean, we started this channel because we wanted to empower, as leaders, everybody out there. And it's fresh, it's new, and we highly encourage each of you to reach out to us if you guys have any questions about this topic. We would love to get your perspective.
Yes. So what are we doing in the next topic?
Yes. And moving forward, we did have a question for you about this particular topic, and we wanted to know from each of you, have you at any point in time come across this topic of quiet quitting in your own lives? Simple yes, no. We want to know how many of you are experiencing it right now. And for our next topic, for our next episode of Lotus Chat Worldwide, we will be discussing what it means to be committed.
Ooh, now, I love
that. Now, please, we do this every week for you guys, and we highly encourage you all to check us out on both Spotify and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, follow. You can do all those. And we would love to hear from you also at lotuschatworldwide@gmail.com with any of your questions or even suggestions for episodes. We will do one, and we will give you a personal shout out too. So definitely keep that in mind. And we thank you all for being here with us today.
Yes,
and we will see you all next week. Zian?
Thank you, and signing off.
We are signing off. Love you guys.
Love you guys.